Whether you were a huge fan of the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers, or maybe you never really cared about basketball, you've probably heard of a man, really a legend, named Kobe Bryant and his fierce Mamba mentality, which means just striving for greatness no matter what it takes. And I wanted to talk about his multi-millionaire habits that have changed my life, his crazy work ethic, his pursuit of business and investing, and his legacy that he left on the court, which is applicable to so many aspects of our lives. We know that on January 26, 2020, Kobe Bryant, his beloved daughter Gigi Bryant, and 7 others lost their lives in a horrific helicopter crash. And in today's video, the least I could do is honor the man that I've looked up to ever since I knew what the game of basketball was. Not only did he have a huge impact on the basketball community in the sports world, but also, Olympic athletes, creators, entrepreneurs, business owners, every person that is pursuing a passion and a goal and a dream. He left a huge impact on our lives, which cannot be denied. And he taught me habits and principles that are undeniably going to continue to guide me on my journey to becoming a millionaire. I wanted to talk about the first millionaire habit in this video, and that is to follow your passion. Kobe couldn't have taught this any better. You have to follow your passion. If you don't, things are eventually going to unravel and you're not going to accomplish the dreams and goals that you want.
Follow your passion first. First. When I retired from the game, I sat there asking kind of all the wrong questions. What's the biggest industry I can get into? And it's all the wrong stuff. And you got to sit there and ask yourself, okay, what am I truly passionate about? What do I enjoy doing? And when you feel that way, honestly, you feel like you have never worked a day in your life. It's the most fun thing in the world. You get up in the morning excited about what you're doing. And you got to be really honest with yourself about it. If you wake up in the morning and you're dreading going to work, do something else.
What I love about this is that when we're younger, when we're in school, when we're taught about growing up and getting a job, it's like we're not taught that we need to be super passionate about it, obsessed about it, super excited to get up in the morning when we go and when we do our job. And that is totally applicable to entrepreneurship and being a business owner, because if you're just doing something and in it for the money to make a quick dollar for your financial desires, it's never going to work. And I think about when I first started my online business career and I did e-commerce, I was totally just doing it for the money and to make, money online. And I didn't like it at all. And it eventually caught up to me and I quit. And I know for a fact I definitely would not have become a millionaire with that business model because I didn't like it. I was just in it for the money.
I work all the time. It's like, man, if you got to get up every single morning and remind yourself how hard you need to work, you probably need to choose a different profession, because that shouldn't be there. I wake up in the morning excited to get to it. If I'm not training, I'm missing it. If I'm not watching a game of basketball, I miss it. There's no place I'd rather be. And if you have that feeling, then you're truly doing what God has put you on this earth to do.
Many of us aren't as lucky as Kobe Bryant and know what our passion is and what we're going to do for the rest of our lives at age 13, but it's something that's discoverable throughout our early lives. And I know that if you just keep following your heart and following what brings you joy, you're going to find that passion that you want to work at and love every single day. If you guys are interested in winning a shout out on my next live YouTube video, take a screenshot of this video, tag me on Instagram at Marissa E. Romero, and let me know your favorite Kobe moment, and I will post the winning screenshot on my next video, give you a shout out, and let you know what I love about your Instagram profile. So make sure take a screenshot right now and tag me on Instagram. For me, this tragedy really just shook me really hard, as I know it did for millions of people around the world. But as a kid, I just had this crazy obsession with the Los Angeles Lakers and Kobe and Shaq. I was that weird little girl who would run home, do my homework, and watch every single Laker game. And I had a room full of purple and gold NBA cards. And I was obsessed with the game. And probably the most starstruck I've ever been in my life was when I was I think 11 or 12 years old. I sat courtside at a pregame that they had. I was just like, the entire game, it was just the best thing ever as a kid, in the admiration I had for, basketball and Kobe Bryant. It's really devastating still day by day knowing that he's no longer with us. The second millionaire habit that has changed my life is sleep and meditation. So this is really interesting because you wouldn't think about these two aspects when you think about Kobe Bryant and how he used to get like no sleep. Back in the day when he played for the Lakers, he claims like he would only sleep 2 to 3 hours a night, and that's it. He would be working or spending time with his family the rest of the day. And he says that incorporating more sleep and meditation changed his life.
And get your 30 minutes of sleep, and you'll see it makes a really, really big difference. My sleep habits were horrendous. I've always had a hard time sleeping. Couldn't figure out how to shut my brain off. What made the light bulb come on is that I went out there and played a game, and I played like crap. I couldn't execute them properly. I was feeling sluggish. I was feeling lethargic. Maybe the fact that you're sleeping 2 or 3 hours a night, maybe that has something to do with the fact that you're playing like crap. It would be just 5 minutes of quiet time, 5 minutes for you to be mindful and to just sit, find that inner voice, just kind of listen to the self. Preferably it would be in the morning as you start your day. I meditate every day. And I do it in the mornings, and I do it for about 10 to 15 minutes. I think it's important because it sets me up for the rest of the day. If I don't do it, I feel like I'm constantly chasing the day.
For me in the beginning, meditation kind of something I thought was kind of dumb. I'm like, that doesn't work. It doesn't apply to me. And I couldn't have been more wrong. So my sister bought me this journal this past Christmas, and it's called the Morning Sidekick Journal. And the whole point of this journal is to keep you accountable and to change your morning routine. And so the point is you take baby steps to implementing meditation, gratitude, affirmations, exercising, whatever it is you need in your routine to get done and to have you be positive and as productive as possible. It's a game changer because I've realized when my morning starts off like crap, the whole day is really hard to get through. And so starting it off with positivity and honoring yourself first is so important. The third millionaire habit that Kobe taught us was focus. This man was laser focused on one goal and one goal only.
One thing when I see with you, and I think about like brain and I think focus, like you know how so many different things brain can get distracted on, and I'm going to put focus on this and focus on this and focus on this. Do you think one of the edge you had over everybody else was the biggest percentage of your focus was on one thing? Do you see it that way? Like that was my edge over everybody else?
I do. Trivial things weren't going to pull my attention. I had a purpose. I wanted to be one of the best basketball players to ever play. And anything else that was outside of that lane, I didn't have time for.
And so I think where a lot of times we go wrong in our professional careers or entrepreneurial careers is that we are just concentrated on so many things. We want to accomplish this and that, but we're never focused on that one goal. And if we're not putting our laser focus on one thing, it always amounts to zero results. And I've been studying wealth more this year because I want to learn about investing. And I've noticed one trend with all of the billionaires on this world, like Donald Trump. Love him or hate him, his expertise and focus is commercial real estate. Bill Gates, software business and technical innovation. I mean, Oprah Winfrey dominated the talk show host world for decades. Warren Buffett always talks about dividend-paying stocks and how he loves them.
Do you take singular focus with everything you do? I was talking to some of the players that you used to play with, and they were like, we would invite him to Vegas, didn't want to go. We'd invite him to play golf, didn't want to go. And they're like, it's not that he was antisocial at all. It just wasn't getting him closer to the goal of being the best at basketball.
It's the work stuff. Like balancing work and family is hard. And I'm really committed to work. And I don't compromise time with my family. So the time that I'm not working, I'm spending it with them.
And so I think this is so important to evaluate in your life. Think about, are you really focused on one thing? Are you losing all of the distractions, all of the non-income producing activities throughout your day just to focus on that one goal that's going to build your audience, that's going to allow you to make that first $1,000 in your business, whatever it is. And so I know that once I became focused and an expert at what I was doing, I learned SEO traffic. I dominated how to drive organic traffic to any offer. And, I got really good at this whole YouTube marketing thing. And so once I decided to focus, mixed with that passion, as I mentioned in one, like I could talk about YouTube all day long. Like I just love it. I love my job. I love getting in front of the camera and sharing value. And those things are so essential to moving forward. The fourth millionaire habit that Kobe taught us was simply put in the work. This is a step that you cannot skip. You have to go through the suffering. You have to go through those moments where you have no clue what you're doing, where it's so painful sometimes you just want to go to sleep or, push it off to the next day. But you really have to fight and find that internal why to keep going and to master your craft. This inspires me so much, thinking about his work ethic, because I remember when I was a freshman in college, I was actually at UC Irvine, which is where Kobe used to practice a lot, and I would hear stories about how people would run into him on campus, and I'm like, I want to run into him on campus, it's not fair. But he was practicing at 2, 3 a.m. just thinking, and he wouldn't leave the gym till he got in 500 made shots. And there's a story from a former NBA player, Jay Williams, who played for the Chicago Bulls, about his work ethic before games.
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come to the Staples Center, because we're playing, this is when the Lakers had Kobe and Shaq. Okay, this is like the championship Lakers. I was like, I'm gonna get there at 3 o'clock, and I wanna make sure I make 400 made shots before I go back into the room, and then I sit in the sauna and I get ready for the game. Who do I see? I see Kobe Bryant, already working out. So once I set my foot across that line, I started working out. And so I worked out for a good hour and a half. And when I came off, after I was done, I sat down, and of course I still heard the ball bouncing. I look down, I'm like, this guy's still working out? He was working out, it looks like he was in a dead sweat when I got here. And he's still going. And it's not like his moves are nonchalant or lazy. He's doing game moves, I sit there and I unlace my shoes. I'm like, I want to see how long this goes. So I sit out there and watch, 25 minutes. And he got done. I said, okay, I think I've seen enough. Go play, come back, get in the sauna, get ready for the game. That game, he drops 40 on us, okay? And after the game is over, I'm like, I have to ask this guy. I have to understand, why he works like that. Right. So after the game is over, I'm like, hey, Kobe, why were you in the gym for so long? He's like, because I saw you come in. and I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, that I'm willing to work harder than you.
So I think about this and I take away so many things, but one of them is the promise to myself that I'm going to incorporate fitness into my life no matter what. I do CrossFit 5 to 6 times a week, and there's so many days where I do not want to go to that gym, and go through that hour of pain, lifting weights, running, whatever it is that the WOD is that day. But I think about his crazy Mamba mentality and how Kobe were, standing right here, he'd be like, you better get your ass to the gym. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to the gym. Many people don't realize what he was doing after his NBA retirement and what he was focused on. And this is kind of a subcategory, but he was focused on investing and teaching and relaying the knowledge to other NBA players that, hey, you need to save your money and have a plan for after retirement. And this is so true, because what do we tell ourselves? Money principles that we know about business, we need to pay ourselves first and make sure that we are investing our money wisely and saving our money for the future. And so Kobe developed Kobe Studios. He won his Oscar award. He was a venture capitalist, and he invested into companies that he believed in. I think, for example, he invested into VIP Kid, which is an online English teaching platform for kids in China. And so he believed in that, and he invested into these companies that he loved where they were going, and he loved the principles behind them. When he was in the NBA, he prepared himself for retirement. He was so smart to look ahead and think this money, these millions, multi-millions aren't going to be coming in forever. And so he would read and he would study books about business and storytelling. And that is why he was able to win an Oscar just a year after his retirement from the NBA, because he prepared himself and he studied. The number 5 millionaire habit that Kobe taught us was to embrace your failures. And one of the most impressive things among many about him was that he did not care whether he shot 5 air balls in a row during the NBA Finals. He moved on.
Okay, I shot 5 air balls on national TV in front of millions of people that cost us the series, and I'm 18. I'm fine, dude. For me, it's not, you kind of got to get over yourself.
And he learned from all of his mistakes, and he didn't dwell on his failures. I mean, sometimes we get so angry at ourselves and so caught up in what went wrong, and that will defeat us. That will keep us from moving forward. And that's so detrimental to our progress, because a lot of times in the beginning of entrepreneurship, we don't realize that failures are great. Failures are good, and that we have to have them to correct ourselves and move forward into the next step of our journey. And that's something that Kobe understood unlike any other person, was that his failures were so essential, and he would learn from them, dissect them, figure out what was going wrong, so that next time he could just dominate.
You have to stay in the moment as an athlete. Right? If I miss this shot here, I can't carry it over to the next shot. You have to forget about what just happened and stay right in the moment. I don't care if I miss 10, 20, 30 in a row.
It's crazy because Kobe showed no sign of letting down, and he didn't show any sign of imposter syndrome. He had to deal with thousands of haters throughout hundreds of his games.
Here's Kwame Brown at the free throw line. Log on to TNT Overtime Playoffs 06 on NBA.com or AOL.com.
And he would never let the haters, bring him down or let imposter syndrome, feeling like a scammer or a fraud, feeling like a sucky NBA player. But he would never let that get in the way. He would always embrace the haters and just it would fuel him for the next game. And so I think that's so important, because we feel like when we mess up, when we don't fail, we feel like a fraud, or we feel like we're scamming clients who want to work with us. That couldn't be further from the truth.
We talk about this often, and we always talk about the fact that you can learn a lot more from the failures than you can from the successes. And you have to figure out where those landmines are, and then how to best avoid those, or help entrepreneurs, and ourselves included, figure out the clues of where those landmines are. Not that you're going to avoid all of them.
Right.
But it's also, when you do step on one, figuring out, okay, how do you recuperate? How do you balance back and, pick yourself up?
And so the 6 millionaire habit that Kobe taught us was, of course, the Mamba mentality. You see it within all the greats, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and you see an underlying theme, and that is to get the work done and to strive for greatness at no matter what the cost.
You do it by repetition, by just simply the act of working every day. You have to get up every day and do the work, right? Consistently do the work.
And so next time you're feeling completely lost and stuck, ready to give up, it's something that we all go through. Just think about, Kobe, the other millionaires, the other billionaires that never gave up in those moments and just took a minute to take a deep breath and say, you know what? Let's do this. We can figure out this problem so that we can go on to accomplish our dreams, goals, live out our passions. And so if Kobe was sitting here in front of me today, I would tell him, thank you from the bottom of my heart for the inspiration, the joy you brought when I was growing up as a kid and playing basketball, the motivation you gave me to play 3 varsity sports, to graduate, go on to college, to get an engineering degree, to have a great career as an engineer. It's just so many things in my life, my 30 years of life on this earth, that you've directly impacted. And I promise to leave the biggest legacy that I can, the way that you did, and the way that your legacy will live on in others and forever impact the younger generation and people forever and ever. Thank you, Kobe.
I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. I think that's what greatness is, or should be. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever.